Now a new chapter in Giants baseball is about to begin, with a spectacular new ballpark that promises great days to come. Not just for players and fans, but for people and businesses throughout the Bay Area community.
Whoa. Hold on. What is that? Welcome to 25 years of history and trivia at Oracle Park.
Once the Giants had decided to rotate their stadium away from downtown and back towards the bay, the stage was almost set for those iconic splash hits. But there was still one thing that was standing in the way. Literally.
That's right. The Giants originally had plans to put a scoreboard over the right field wall, potentially blocking cove shots from happening.
Well, that scoreboard had to go somewhere. And if you had to choose one or the other, the Giants' choice had some logic. They wanted to prioritize the views of the bay and the Bay Bridge.
The park's original design had been about city views, but now it was views of the bay and the East Bay Hills. Meanwhile, right field would look out at a parking lot beyond Mission Creek. It was reminiscent of the original right field Candlestick Park scoreboard in its utilitarian look and placement. Also, scoreboards in the 90s weren't great. Most were not significant parts of the stadium. Even the ones that were integral parts of the stadium, like at Dodger Stadium in LA or Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, were still pretty basic. Video replay boards were barely a decade old at this point. The Giants had only installed the Jumbotron at Candlestick in the mid-80s, and in 1995, right before when this Pac Bell Park rendering must have been created, the Oakland Coliseum had these state-of-the-art scoreboards installed. Seriously. But recent stadiums designed by HOK featured scoreboard structures that were more prominent, although the views behind both were not considered as great as views of the bay. And Pacific Bell Park designer Joe Spear had a couple of good reasons to reconsider. Practically, he knew that a right field scoreboard at that angle would be hard to see during day games, especially by the fans near right field.
He knew that the Giants could either block a view, or they could block an iconic event that would come to define their ballpark. And it's not like the Giants didn't know what their future hallmark was going to be, as their own advertising video showed in 1996.
A run in the fifth, and here comes the pitch, and Barry swings, and there's a drive, well hit, deep right field. That ball is gone over the wall and into the bay.
They even played that audio with a rendering of the scoreboard still in the way. But what finally changed their mind? Spear said that when they found out that the port walk in right field was completely built on fill, making building a foundation there strong enough to support the scoreboard very expensive, that was the final straw. They moved the board to center field, where the geotechnical concerns were lighter. Within a year, new renderings were released with a huge center field scoreboard and light fixture integrated together. It was a striking design that evoked some of the best parts of Kauffman Stadium or Comiskey Park. The scoreboard silhouette would come to be one of the most memorable parts of the ballpark, and would be used to identify the ballpark in renderings everywhere. And sure, it blocked the view of the hills and the bay somewhat, but it's not like it would be the last controversial thing to block that view.